Hello and welcome to Morning Coffee with Maddog Merv. It is an absolutely stunning, beautiful Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to our ladies out there, and also to you guys that had to play dual roles in your life. Some guys have to do that. Some guys have to be mom and dad. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. Let's see what we got going on the channel today, shall we?
Welcome to Morning Coffee.
Maddog Merv today.
Got our French roast this morning again.
I wonder I'm a big fat guy. I mean,
And then
holy
they
cow.
I always had a schmear.
So he's probably going for bagels. His friends do.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it.
I have no clue.
And I got a bunch of chores to do. Oh, who wants to do that?
For today's shout out, Kathy Millett, and I've mentioned her a long time ago. She does a lot of amazing diorama type stuff. And I'm just mesmerized whenever I watch her videos, how she creates these things, but she's so creative with the ideas that she has. So for those of you who like to do diorama stuff and maybe you're looking for some new techniques, check it out. Kathy Millett. I'll put a link in the description. I hope that you folks like the piece that I did on Las Vegas. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but the kit hoarder stash where we reviewed and then built that 3D printed tank, you know, not much to it. It's it's 3D printed and there's not that many parts to the kit, so thought it's easy enough, going to be easy enough to build. Let's just do a build review on it as well. I don't know that I mentioned it real well in the video, but when it came to the tracks, and I was fortunate, they're, you know, kind of brittle, and there's some areas where it naturally kind of breaks, which is fine. And as I went to put the tracks on the wheels, the problem I ran into is the rear sprocket. If you put it where the hole is drilled and then try to push the tracks back together, there's going to be a little bit of a gap. And I went, ah, crap. You know, at this late stage in the game. And it's not an easy kit to dry fit, if that makes any sense. You know, try to fit ahead of time before you glue. It's not easy to do that with it. So what I wound up having to do was take that off, re-drill about 1/16 of an inch maybe over, and reattach it. Still not perfect, better than it was. You know, it's going to be fun. It's not going to win any contest for sure, but it looks cool in the collection, and you know, it's my model, so it's how I chose to finish it. I do want to go back and dirty it up a bit. I might put a camouflage pattern, although in the mid-50s there wasn't a lot in the way of camouflage patterns for US tanks. It's just olive drab. But it was a fun build. First time building an entire 3D kit, and you know, I understand the challenges of fit, you know, trying to get things to fit when you're doing a resin kit or a 3D kit. And it wasn't bad. Could it be better? Well, yes, of course. But you know, a little bit of modeling skill and you can get it together pretty easy. So to me, it was a fun build, but it's a great piece to have in my World of Tanks collection of armor. So I hope you folks got something out of it. I didn't even know it existed till a friend of mine posted something on Facebook about it. I went to eBay. Oh my goodness, they have several offerings, several that I would like. One of them I thought was kind of fun was the T-40, which is a early tank destroyer based on the M3 Lee. I did one years ago, and I'm happy with it. But their kit looks pretty interesting anyway. There's a couple of others though that I definitely want to get in the series. I've got at least a dozen kits out right now, so that's kind of, good variety. Anyway, hope that was something that you folks found of interest. I know it definitely was an eye-opener for me. Coming up, well, when I'm into something and I'm doing something, whether it's exploring or trains or cars or tanks, whatever, ships, I tend to stay on that little kick for a while. So for those of you who are not really into the tanks, I'm sorry. Right now, I am building a few tanks, doing a few other things as well, but my main emphasis right now are some of these tanks that I want to get off my table and finished. So coming up on tomorrow's show, we're going to look at, and I'm going to slaughter this, I know, the Gronoise Chef. It would be much better if I was 3 sheets to the wind, then I could say it perfectly. But it's some kind of, it's one of the monster tanks from World of Tanks. It was like the first monster tank they came up with years ago. It's a KV5, and it's got kind of a special paint job. And I've been wanting to build it since I got my KV5 kit several years back. So we reviewed the kit not long ago, but we're going to do this build coming up tomorrow, and I think you might like it. If you're into the tanks, and if you're into the World of Tank stuff, I haven't seen anyone else build one, so that's what's coming up tomorrow. Not 100% sure what we're doing on the stash. We might look at this HO scale Glencoe kit that I got of a stagecoach and a covered wagon. When I found this available at my friend's shop, Kit Links, I had to have it. Old West, HO scale. It's the time period that I'm wanting to do on the layout. So I got the kit. We'll review it and build it. So I think that's what's coming up this upcoming Thursday. Well, as you can see, I'm back from Vegas. That was a trip my son and I had talked about for some time now. He goes down there every few weeks. The business that he's in, he sells laundry equipment to hotels, to laundromats, brand new laundry equipment, top of the line stuff. And he works for a company that the owners kind of become family with my family. Goes on camping trips with us, and he's really close to my boys. 3 of my boys work for him, and he also owns that Rhino hitch. I've mentioned that before, and he's doing very well. He's a very good businessman, very fair and honest, and he's a lot of fun. So my son was headed down there for another business trip and said, "Hey, I'm going to be down there. Do you want to come down on this one?" Well, yeah, of course. I've been wanting to come down for a while, but I didn't want to go alone. So my son says, "Okay, we'll get you this room next to mine, and I've got a little bit of work to do, but then we'll hang out and do a bunch of stuff." Okay, sounds good. So I went down midweek, a week ago, and I ran into this pizza place in the town of Beaver. Now, of course, every time I go through that area, the perfect place to stop is in Beaver. Yeah. So this little pizza place, and I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but it's on Main Street, and they've got pool tables and foosball and some pinball machines, kind of thing. Okay, we'll try it out, see how it is. Ordered a pepperoni and extra cheese, and I got to tell you, this was one of the best pizzas I've ever had. Yeah, you ever go to one of those places where you get French fries and they hand you the bag and it's all soaked with grease? Those are going to be good fries. Same thing here. You open up that box, you see the box is like soaking in all the grease. Oh baby, it was so good. Oh, I think I would drive back down there just to have some pizza and come home. It was that good. So anyway, that's how the trip started. I got down there. My son got me in the room. We went to that Ojos Locos for lunch, or late lunch, and we wound up staying through dinner. Tried all of these different, tacos that they had and wings that they had. I tried chips and salsa. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff on there. And the boys had some drinks. Just a great time, delicious food, great place for us. We had a wonderful time there. And then I had the opportunity to go to these other museums and do some research on that train station. It's just always intrigued me because the line to Los Angeles came from Salt Lake City through Las Vegas, and Caliente has a beautiful train station there that's been restored, and it's still there. Someday we'll go visit that, and I'd like to take that route all the way down. So, great history there. Lots of famous passenger trains that went through there, and just the fact that it was, early Las Vegas, before the Strip, where Fremont Street was the main, the main thoroughfare, the main drag back in that day. So anyway, it was such a great time. The one thing that I did notice was the roads are nice and wide, and they're not full of potholes like up here. I just enjoyed going for a drive because the roads were nice and it was beautiful and sunny and warm. It was in the low 70s. I just had a wonderful time, and I don't gamble. So, it's just being in that kind of climate down there. And of course they've got great food. So I went to visit my friend Ricardo. I've mentioned him many times before. He's one of the biggest supporters of this channel that I've had. And once he retired a couple of months before I did, he beelined it down to Vegas. He had purchased a home there. And I try to go see him as often as I can, a couple of times a year. We have wonderful conversations. We've always been very good friends. And I absolutely love seeing him. Now, this is a guy that 5 days a week, all year long, I would see every day. I'd probably spend more time with him than I would with my family back when we were working. And we came up with a lot of creative things, a lot of things that helped our employees when we were working. So we have a great relationship, and to be able to visit him, yeah. But we went to a local Mexican restaurant down there, just in a little strip mall, kind of unassuming. Whoa, some of the best Mexican food I've ever had. Yeah, stay off the Strip, stay away from the expensive crap there. Find these local places, and you won't be disappointed, for sure. Man, this was good. So anyway, hopped back in the Mustang and, made my trip back home. It was exactly what the doctor ordered. I needed some time away like that, and it was just so much fun. I do have other trips planned coming up. There's another one planned for Vegas coming up a little bit later this summer. I still want to try and take that route that goes, that follows the old railroad. The railroad, Union Pacific, still goes through that same route, but it's through a very lonely, let's put it that way, lonely part of Utah and Nevada to get there. So, but we'll wind up taking that one of these days. Well, folks, again, happy Mother's Day to everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful, beautiful, peaceful day. If your mother's not with you anymore, it's a good day to reflect on the wonderful times that you had. And if your mom's still there, make sure you make a big deal out of her, because moms are pretty important. And for those of you dads that have had to play dual roles, I salute you. Had to do that for a while in my life, and I can tell you that it's not flipping easy. So, all right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow with the Grenoble, whatever the heck it is, KV5. Have a good weekend, folks. Bye-bye.